Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the James Perry Show here on AM 790 WPRV and Facebook Live. We are live once again at Hope Street Pizza here on the east side of Providence, here for the next hour talking Brown Bears football with the head coach of the Bears, James Perry. Our first portion of the show brought to you by Bay Coast Bank, providing exceptional service and financial solutions for our community since 1851. Visit baycoast.bank to learn more. Let's say hello to my color analyst for Brown football on the road, and boy, did we have an exciting one last week in Ithaca, John Anderson. John, how are you?
I'll tell you, it was so exciting. We started at the varsity at Syracuse, and then we moved from there to Cornell, and we didn't get any better than that.
It only got better as the trip went on. And let's say hello to the head coach of the Bears, James Perry. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Great, Scott. Thank you.
Well, congratulations. Nice win at Cornell. Really an exciting game. I mean, from our standpoint, boy,
Yeah.
those last 7.5 minutes, I don't know if they were exciting for a head coach or not, but for broadcasters, boy, we had a ball calling the finish of that one.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite games I've been a part of, player or coach, and it was just great to see the kids play for all 60 minutes, and the effort level, the energy level was awesome.
You know, Coach, before we get into the highlights, and you say that, and I looked at that game and I said, you know, this is kind of a must-win for us as a team going into that. But when you look at that first half, and then we look at the second half, and when you guys went to halftime, you know, Scott and I were talking, you know, during our break there, and I said, you know, this halftime is going to be huge for us to come out. We came out in that second half with toughness, grit, resilience. I don't know all the terminologies I can put into what it took. You know, if you've been on the football field as you have, I mean, I played this game too, and to come out after that first half, which isn't the greatest first half, we're down and we're on the road, and then come out in that second half and do what we had to do to make a win happen. I mean, I give these guys a lot of credit.
Yeah, and John, as an alum, you would have been really proud of actually the halftime. You know, I felt like, you know, as a coach, you come into the locker room, you never know how guys are going to respond, and sure enough, we have some, you know, senior defensemen who are totally picking up offensive guys, and, you know, nobody wants to turn the ball over, nobody wants to get a punt blocked, but it sure, you know, helps you feel better when you know everyone's got each other's back, and, you know, it was a really good leadership moment. We talk about dispersed leadership quite a bit as a team, and, you know, that was a moment where the kids grasped that, no finger pointing, just, hey, how are we going to get this thing right in the second half, and sure enough, you know, we played hard in the last 30 minutes.
Coach John and I, ironically, we felt great at halftime because my feeling was this. We're down only 2, and we turned the ball over 3 times, and we had another penalty on 4th and 6 on a punt, which allowed them to come back on the field. They converted to 4th and 1 and scored a touchdown on a drive. I'm like, you know, despite all of that, we're down by only 2. I said, if I'm Cornell, I don't know if I'm feeling too good about things right now at halftime because they didn't necessarily take advantage of our miscues in the first half. I felt like we were right there and right ready to take the game in the second half.
And it's all response, right? It's how do you respond to the event? You know, you try during the week of practice to make corrections so you don't, you know, have the event happen. But when an adverse event happens, how are you going to respond? And the kids were awesome. They responded exactly how a Brown football player responds, and it paid off because as the game went on, you're on the road in Ithaca. You know, there's no way we're just going to walk out of there without a hard-fought win. So we needed that resiliency, and it proved to be the key to victory.
All right, let's go over some of the highlights in this one, and there were plenty of them. So let's pick it up. The Bears were down 16-7 in the first quarter when a freshman tailback got into the mix and found the end zone. Perry out of the shotgun, takes the snap, hands the ball off, up the middle, across the 10, 5, touchdown Bears!
The freshman,
Ian Franzoni.
Ian Franzoni does a nice job. Good blocking up side by the line on the right side, and he goes right in untouched, the freshman.
Here's a name that we hadn't called, Coach, through the first few weeks of the season, but the freshman gets his opportunity, and he produces for you.
Yeah, you know, and he's practiced really well. Early in the season, he was banged up. It hurt us, actually, because he's a terrific ball player, and we weren't able to use him. And the last couple of weeks, as he's gotten healthy, he's a real weapon, and I look forward to seeing how he, you know, progresses the last 4.
So that cut the deficit to 16-14. And then the Bears would actually take the lead for the first time in the game. Midway through the second quarter, it was the first of 3 touchdown catches on the day for Hayes Sutton. It is Sutton, Walker, and Rocket. On 3rd and goal to go from the 9. Perry drops back to pass. He looks to the end zone. He fires. It's caught. Touchdown Bears. Hayes Sutton makes the touchdown catch. So the first of 3 for Hayes, but boy, he and EJ had it going on Saturday, didn't they?
Yeah, what a year Hayes has had. And I love watching him play, but I'm actually looking more forward to hearing him tonight. Because you don't get a lot of words out of Hayes. He's a man of few words, which I like. And he practices hard. He's got terrific hands. He's a very good route runner. And you guys will put your interview skills to the test today. See what you're made of. Because usually Hayes is very modest and kind of soft-spoken.
He's got the slant to the inside down, though. He got that down.
He knows how to catch a ball and play, and he really is a terrific practicer. He's a very easy kid to coach.
We talked to you last week about it. All your receivers are just doing a great job of catching the ball.
And you know, we talk about it. Mahoney made a great catch down the stretch, as we'll talk about. But all these receivers really.
Rocket made one on the sideline.
And actually, Mark got pass interfered with, which was actually a critical moment too. He's such a big target. So yeah, yep.
So the Bears were trailing by 2 at halftime, 23-21, but they would change that early in the third quarter, as again E.J. Perry found Hayes Sutton from 13 yards out. They have it 3rd and 11 at the Cornell 13. Perry back to pass, fires, end zone, caught, touchdown, Hayes Sutton.
Great job by E.J. Perry. He was underneath the blitz, and Hayes Sutton does it down and in.
So Sutton's second touchdown catch of the day, and it was one of those games. I don't know how many lead changes there ended up being, but you could tell it was going to be one of those back and forth games in the second half, Coach.
Yeah, and John's call was actually well put. I mean, that was a great example of the line picking up a pressure. You know, they pressured us in the line did a terrific job, as they did all day, creating a little bit of time so Hayes could run that route properly.
And you know, Coach, I was going to say that. I mean, the push up front was unbelievable. I mean, you saw a push that, you know, we hadn't seen before, where guys were coming off the football and they were meeting their guys, and, you know, their guys now were pushed back a yard or 2 yards. You know, I remember, you know, watching, you know, one of the tailbacks pick up his, I think it was Smith, picking up, you know, a blitzing guy on the backside, just giving him a chip block enough to give EJ that extra second or two, which people don't realize in football. That second or two makes a difference between, you know, maybe being sacked or
a 50-yard gain.
Or a 50-yard gain, yeah.
I mean, 298 yards rushing, Coach. So your point about the offensive line, they did a great job blocking it up.
Yeah, and this week, you know, when we gave our weekly awards, we gave the offensive game ball to Lucas Ferraro. He's our center. He's you know, he's only a junior, but he's played a lot of ball for us, and really could have went to a couple guys. You know, Hunter Folsom and Chad Broom-Webster. So, yeah, credit to all those guys.
So the defense on the day, we thought made some real good stops. They forced 5 Cornell punts, really 6, but that one was called back due to a penalty. And they also came up with this big turnover in the third. On 3rd and 10 from the Brown 23-yard line. Long operates out of the shotgun. He takes the snap. Back to pass. Pumps, looks, fires, and intercepted. Picked off by Griffin McGovern. And he takes it back to the 25-yard line and tackled there. So big play there for the defense, and Griffin, he's had a couple of big turnovers this year. He had a forced fumble and fumble recovery against Colgate, it was, I believe, and there he comes up with a pick for you, Coach.
Yeah, you know, he's playing well, especially in the first half of that game. There was some really good moments for us to build upon from a defensive unit perspective. And when we look at what we're trying to build here, obviously we're trying to, you know, play faster, and that goes all 3 phases of the game. But, you know, from a defensive perspective, I know there's a lot of good things to build off of, and Griffin's an example of that.
So the Bears were down at that time 30-28 after the McGovern interception, and then they would regain the lead in the fourth quarter, as for the 3rd time in the afternoon, it was E.J. Perry to Hayes Sutton. 2nd down, 8 Brown at the Cornell 19. Perry motions Walker from left to right, takes the snap, drops back to pass, fires toward the end zone. Sutton caught! Touchdown Bears! 3rd touchdown catch of the day for Hayes Sutton. Boy, I mean, just what a day! And I think was it against Colgate or Princeton that Rocket had 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
So he's kind of matching his teammate there, getting into the end zone 3 times in a single game. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it's indicative of us. We distribute the ball and then we're opportunistic. And a guy like Hayes, I think he pulls for his teammates. And how we're playing 6-7 wide receivers, and then when it is your opportunity, a few weeks ago, West, this week Hayes, they're ready to pounce upon it.
So the Bears took the lead, and then Cornell came right back and scored themselves, and then Brown would answer. Now, what's ironic about this, Coach, is my partner here was getting a little nervous on that drive. He's like, well, I'm not. They may have to go a little faster. I said, no, I know exactly what they're doing. They're running a nice, long, sustained drive. They want to score and not leave Cornell a lot of time. But then this happened. Perry backs up into the shotgun with 3 receivers to the near side right. EJ takes the snap. He's going to hand it off. DeLucia picks up the first down and more. He's off to the races at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown!
The freshman up the middle. Unbelievable block. He gets through. He breaks a tackle, and he's off to the races. Brown takes the lead here with 2:27 to go. And now I have to comment on that because people have to realize with the 2:20 we only had 1 timeout left.
Yeah, the first down stopped the clock.
We had burned a couple of timeouts. We had the ball, where we were. I think we had it at the 35 or 40. We started that drive, and we were running the football. People don't realize that. We weren't just on a thing. So I was saying to myself, wow, are we going to have enough time? Because we're going to need that timeout if we have to get the field goal team on here to maybe tie this, And what was going through your mind? Because that's where I was kind of in a different world. Because, EJ can throw down the field. I'm saying, wait a minute, we just went off tackle. We just went up the middle. I'm like, the clock is ticking. I'm watching the clock come down.
I loved it.
I'm thinking you're like Bill Belichick, right? He doesn't call the timeout with Pete Carroll for the Super Bowl as the clock's ticking down. Obviously, you knew what you were doing. Tell me, what was going through your head there?
Yeah, sure. So we actually the metric we use is yard per second. So anything that's more than a yard per second is in your favor. Meaning, so if you started the drive on the 35, you have 65 yards to go. So anything more than 65 seconds is to your advantage in college football. So you can run the football. You don't need to adjust your game plan. Okay. In that situation, the guys up front are doing a terrific job. We're playing 3 backs, 4 backs. So as the game goes on, by design, we're getting stronger. The guys they're using their fitness level. It's all kind of part of the model. So they embraced that. They were certainly ready to block up front. And then in that case, when Jordan saw the seam, he's ready to explode through. So, we were in really base offense there. And even when we got the ball back the next time, we actually still had more seconds than yards.
Yeah, and the way I saw it, Coach, was, you had 1 timeout, but in college football, first downs, they stop the clock to set the chains, and then, of course, you got out of bounds as well to stop the clock. So I felt like even with the 1 timeout, you had plenty of time, but you never want to turn a touchdown when it comes, right?
We're pretty calm now.
And so, great run by DeLucia, great job by the offensive line. But then I questioned, did we leave Cornell with too much time? And the answer was, yes, we did. The Big Red had a 3-play, 75-yard drive. They regained the lead 45-42. And then I said to my partner, John, they left the Bears too much time once again. And yes, they did, because the Bears would mount a 6-play, 75-yard drive that took just 90 seconds off the clock. And they capped it off with this game winner from E.J. Perry to Graham Walker. And 10, Perry takes the snap, back to pass, fires it deep to the corner of the end zone, and it is caught! Touchdown Bears!
It's Graham Walker! Unbelievable, great protection by EJ for EJ. He throws a strike to the back corner for a 30-yard pass.
That was just what a catch by Graham. That should have been on You Got Mossed. That's how good a catch that was.
I was saying that, and you guys didn't deliver. I don't have the power to do that because he came over the top and with such excitement, with 7:39 to go, 5 lead changes. That's like a You Got Mossed. You can't even make that up, what happened down the stretch right there. But you know what? That was led by Mark Mahoney's catch at 3rd down on the backside People don't realize, you said it earlier,
Yep.
that was a great catch to bring us to the 28, because that now put us at least in field goal range if things stalled. But it was a third down play that got us there.
Yep. No, and you're 100% right. And actually, when we drop back, the play can express itself many different ways. And in that case, Mark on the weak side catching the comeback, and then when they pressed, Graham, EJ went to from a matchup perspective there, and what a heck of a catch, and what a great game. I mean, it's just one of those moments where, I was so proud of the guys, their effort. I mean, you're talking that's happening with 25 seconds left. So, 59-minute, 35 seconds into a game, and they're playing that hard. So, very impressive.
And just one thing, and I know players play, coaches coach, but it was also great to see your coaching staff that was on the sidelines. They were so invested. They were so excited. I mean, Mike McCarthy, he was hugging his linemen as they were coming off. Edwards was doing. I mean, these guys were doing their thing. I mean, you saw, a whole team to me come together as a group there on that side.
And I think also part of that is, as coaches, we watch the film. You're talking about, this is a very good Cornell team. They're going to win games down the stretch here. If anyone's confused about that, I'm telling you, it's happening. They have a pro right tackle. They have a very good young quarterback now. They have a terrific defense that plays very energetically. So, I mean, that was a road win against a very good team. And, I know they lost to Harvard and Yale prior to playing us, but that's a heck of a team to beat them on the road. When you're watching film as a coach, you know how big a deal it was.
And, Coach, what's it like, and maybe this is a question better asked of Coach Weaver, your defensive coordinator, but facing a team that ran 4 quarterbacks through the game, and they were rotating at different times, and the freshman Wong was one of those dual threats, a guy that can really run it, but there were many times when he'd start to run, and then he'd just flare it out into the flat there. So that provided, I thought, quite a test for your defense.
No doubt. And they've done it all year. Like I said, I mean, they lost close games to Harvard and Yale, some really good ball clubs, and they're playing really well. And actually, now with the young kid, he's caught rhythm, and he's a heck of a talent. So, moving forward, they're a very dangerous team.
All right, so next week it's off to Franklin Field in Philadelphia to take on the Penn Quakers. This has always been one of my favorite stops in the Ivy League, and it's probably because, number one, I love Franklin Field. You see the Philadelphia skyline, Penn relays, all the history of that stadium. But number two, going back to when you were a player here at Brown, some of the games between Brown and Penn on the gridiron, they've been just high-scoring shootouts, and then in the late 2000s, it went the other way. They were like defensive rock fights. But they've always been great games against two, I think, like-minded programs, tough, physical programs.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Anybody who's worn a Brown jersey just has immense respect for Penn. We both kind of have the, at times, blue-collar, like you said, mentality, both programs. This year's no exception. Playing at Franklin Field adds a little, extra to that. One of my favorite places. And I know I can think of my senior year. That was like kind of a we've made it moment. Playing at Penn at Franklin Field is how you're going to be tested.
Coach, how do you keep the emotion? I mean, what a win. I mean, sometimes when you have wins like this, we're going to see this week. I mean, and we go back on the road, another 5-hour road trip. I mean, we had 6 hours, now we're going 5. How do you keep these guys, hey, we're on the Penn. That mindset, that all that energy isn't lost as we go into a very good Penn team.
Yeah, and it's especially important for us. So we've based everything that we do on fitness. So, what we refer to as recovery, the primary drivers of recovery are eating and sleeping. So when you leave Cornell, you've got to immediately be mindful of how am I going to rest properly? How am I going to be able to recover so that Sunday's run, which is so critical, we're able to sweat and run and increase our fitness level. And then, watching these guys on the heels of that bus ride come out and have a really good Sunday and then work really, really hard. We've had some weather, which was kind of a nice change-up the last couple days, brought a little energy with, the driving rain yesterday was kind of fun for the kids. So they've responded well. and I'm really happy with the week of practice.
And Coach, not a lot of film, although he did play last week against Yale. They had to play a freshman quarterback, Aiden Sayin, because I think Quinterly got nicked up. So you're going to be facing, we think, a freshman signal caller on Saturday.
Yeah, and heck, on the heels of Cornell, we're ready for either one, right? We played a few last week. They have a good quarterback. Now they're playing a freshman who's a really good quarterback. He's a talent. So either way, I think that stylistically there's a little difference that Tim Weaver, our defensive coordinator, would be preparing for. But we know we're gonna see a terrific quarterback on Saturday.
Their tailback, Isaiah Malcolm's really good, isn't he?
Yeah, and they've done it. It's another example in this league, especially this year. The roster sizes are big. You have a lot of seniors and fifth years. UPenn is no exception to that. They're a deep team, so yeah, they're going to certainly pose some real challenges for us.
All right, Coach, good luck against the
Good luck,
Quakers
Coach.
on
Thank
Saturday.
you.
All right,
Thank you.
that's the head coach of the Bears, James Perry. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, Hayes Sutton and Griffin McGovern will be our guests, and we continue from Hope Street Pizza right after this.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Elite Physical Therapy was founded on relationships and wanting to do the very best and elite by others.
Having our partnerships with institutions like the University of Rhode Island, Providence College, and Brown University have made us proud to continue to serve the communities like they do.
I can say that I am incredibly proud of our team and our community.
Treating them, we know these people on a personal level.
Here at Elite, we really focus on the person and what's important to the person.
We love Rhode Island. We're living here. We're raising our families here.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Elite Physical Therapy was founded on relationships and wanting to do the very best and elite by others.
Having our partnerships with institutions like the University of Rhode Island, Providence College, and Brown University have made us proud to continue to serve the communities like they do.
I can say that I'm incredibly proud of our team and our community.
Treating them, we know these people on a personal level.
Here at Elite, we really focus on the person and what's important to the person.
We love Rhode Island. We're living here. We're raising our families here.
Welcome back to the James Perry Show here on AM 790 WPRV and Facebook Live. We are at Hope Street Pizza here on the east side of Providence. Scott Credisci, John Anderson with you. This portion of the program brought to you by Rhode Island Medical Imaging, the official MRI provider for Brown football with 13 locations statewide. Remy's specialized radiologists and patient-focused care are in your neighborhood. Right now, it gives us great pleasure to welcome to the show a couple of juniors on this year's team, and they both had a big impact on last Saturday's win up in Ithaca. Junior wide receiver Hayes Sutton and junior defensive back Griffin McGovern. Hayes, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it. And Griffin, how you doing tonight?
Good. Happy to be here.
Well, thank you for being with us as well. Hayes, we'll start with you. A 3-touchdown day. That's a type of game that I think a lot of kids dream about growing up playing football. And, you know, you and EJ just had it going, and you found the end zone 3 times. What was that like for you on Saturday?
It was awesome. I mean, I was glad to help the team win in any way I could. And, I mean, EJ gave me some great passes, great play call, and capitalized on the opportunity.
You know, I said to Coach last week, it's really been fun to watch your group, the wide receiver core in this team, grow week by week to the point now where you guys are just so sure-handed. Man, if a ball's in your area, you're going to catch it. I love the fact, too, that you all are able to win those battles for contested balls, too. Like, if there's a contested ball, 9 times out of 10, it seems like a Brown receiver's coming up with it, not an opposing defensive back. Talk to us a little bit about the development of you guys at the wide receiver position this year.
Yeah, we were a young, unexperienced group coming into it this year. And, I mean, we put in a lot of work this offseason. And I think all of our guys have really grinded, gotten better. And we know when the ball's in the air that we're going to win and come down with it. So, I mean, I feel good about all the receivers across the board and their opportunity to win.
Hayes, talk to us about the locker room. Obviously, you know, in that first half, the offense, you know, we were only down by 2. We struggled a little. We turned the ball over a little bit. And then, obviously, you guys came out on full throttle in that second half. What was the locker room like?
It was good at halftime. I think we knew that we could move the ball on them. I mean, we had a few mistakes in the first half, but I think spirits were high, and we knew that we just got to keep it rolling, keep the ball moving, and that's what we did.
Griffin, you had the interception against Cornell, and then in the win over Colgate, a forced fumble and fumble recovery. So there's a common denominator in our wins this year. We win when Griffin McGovern forces a turnover. So you got one in you for this Saturday?
Yeah, hopefully I do. Coach Weaver always preaches on making plays, so we're just trying to get as many takeaways as we can, and they'll hopefully lead to wins.
On that particular play, watching it live, I haven't had a chance to see it back, it looked like you read the quarterback very well, like you were reading the quarterback's eyes or intentions on that play because you seemed to jump that perfectly.
Yeah, so the formation they lined up in, they love to run a lot of bubble screens out of that. So, and Coach Weaver always talks about eye discipline, Coach Jackson too. So they did the bubble, and then the tight end faked like he was blocking, and I was able to keep my eyes on him. And then when he turned it up, I was just able to step in front of him and make a play.
And, you know, I have to say to everyone that, you know, Griffin, you were having a good game up until, you know, you made the interception, the turnover, but we noticed through that first half that you were playing very, very good football. I mean, you were making tackles. You made some very, very good plays. On the defensive side of the football, you know, obviously we kept this thing, you know, kind of close. Mm-hmm. What was it like as you guys got into that shootout in that second half? 7:39 to go, back and forth. I mean, it was all out.
Yeah, there was just no panic. You know, like it was a very complimentary game. Like whether like the turnovers early, the defense came out, no finger pointing. We just kept playing, and then when we let up a couple big plays, the offense came back and responded, and we always just have confidence in our teammates to go out and just get our backs. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can feel it either on the sideline or on the field when you're playing. But from up in the press box when we broadcast the game, we can see and we can feel who's really having a good game. Yeah. And a guy that just right from the get-go was playing well on your side of the ball was Jason Medeiros.
Yeah. He's a hell of a player, a hell of a leader. He talks a lot. He sets the fronts every play. I don't know where we'd be without him. He does a lot for us. Yeah.
He did. He played a good game. He had 9 tackles.
Yeah, he was just like a ball-seeking missile. Like wherever the ball was, he was around it.
And when we say that on the defense, we'll go to the offensive side with you, Hayes. EJ, we know the talent level we're dealing with. Didn't have the greatest first half. You know, we call what we have to see. You know, and things weren't going. Came in that second half and was like a rock star.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it like with you guys out on the field with him?
I mean, we feel like we have the best quarterback in all of college football, honestly. And so we know wherever we're on the field, he can get the ball to us, and we're going to make plays for him. So we just got to we've built up that trust with him, and I think he trusts us, and we make plays for him.
Did you guys feel the same way at halftime? The 3 turnovers that EJ had in the first half, those were all drives that started in Cornell territory, right? So you guys had to feel like you left something out there on the field.
Yeah, for sure.
On that punt where we ran into the kicker, gave them another chance to come on the field. They got a first down and scored a touchdown. I felt like with all those first half mistakes, they're only up 2. I loved our chances at halftime because of that. Did you kind of have that feeling?
Yeah, that's why we felt good at halftime, because we knew we left points on the board, but we felt how easy it was to get down there, and we knew that we could just keep capitalizing on what they were giving us.
Griffin, I've said this many times with E.J. Perry and with this offense and their ability to produce points. It's not like the defense has to be a shutdown defense, but you just have to make key stops at key points in the game. And I know you guys forced Cornell to punt 5, really 6 times in that game. You came up with a turnover. What's the key to making stops? Is it playing ahead of the chains, getting them in 2nd and 3rd and long? Is it getting off the field on 3rd down? Like, what's the biggest key defensively for you guys to make those stops you need to get off the field?
Yeah, it definitely starts with 1st down. When we get them in the 2nd and long, we feel very confident. And with an offense like this, it just allows us to play free. We can go make plays. We know that the other team's going to make plays, but we know that our offense is going to bounce back every time. So it just allows us to play with no fear and run around and try and make something happen.
What was that locker room like after the victory, guys? Talk to us.
It was pretty fun.
Great. Yeah, it was great. Good bus ride home.
Yeah,
big
Long,
win.
But good.
Now, Griffin, do you play for Coach Jackson, right? Because you're a safety.
Yes.
Right? Coach Q's got the corners.
Yes.
And you get coach. So what's it like playing for Coach Jackson? I have a lot of respect for him. He does a great job with our special teams. What's it like playing for Coach Jackson?
Yeah, he's awesome. He doesn't overcoach. He lets us play. He obviously does a great job with the special teams, but yeah, I mean he's been doing great with our technique this year, and I feel a lot more confident in our ability. Like, we're moving up, we're like pressing more, we're just getting more confident as a unit, and I think it's been going really good.
And Hayes, for you 2 years ago, I think it was Vinny Marino was the wide receivers coach, and this year you have Coach Bunker. What's it been like playing for Coach Bunker?
It's been great. I mean, he's been great so far. He makes us ready to go every week, and we know what we got to do.
Guys, both of you, I don't want any game plans given out because we don't want to do that. But we're heading to UPenn. Good football team. Okay, they're 0-3, but that 0-3 is against Columbia, Dartmouth. Good teams. I mean they're a very good football team. We're coming off of a huge emotional win. I mean, on the road, 6 hours, the whole ride. Hayes, what are we going to have to do going into, a very, very, competitive, tough football team at Franklin Field? Scott and I have been calling Franklin Field for a long time. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's
always a war.
It's going to be a war. What are you guys going to have to do offensively here, to make this thing happen?
We got to keep the momentum going and make it advantage Brown. We know that they're going to be chippy at times, but we can't retaliate. We got to keep our mind focused, and we just got to be advantage Brown.
What about you guys on that defensive side?
Yeah, they got some players over there. They got some really good receivers, backs, a couple of quarterbacks they've been playing. We just got to be dialed in and do what we do and get our eyes right and just fly around and play fast.
All right, guys, I was looking at your bios before you came on the air tonight, and I see some of your hobbies. Now, Griffin, you're from Emerson, New Jersey, which is northern New Jersey, for those who don't know. And you're a golfer, right? You like to golf?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
They both are.
I know. Here's the thing. I understand how a guy from Georgia likes to golf, but I don't understand how a guy from Georgia puts snowboarding. I mean, they can't put a lot of snowboarding down there. Where were you snowboarding?
For the winter break, we'd go to Vail, Colorado. We went to Aspen. So yeah, winter break, I'll take some trips.
Like,
to
how did you
Colorado.
even take it up though, being from Norcross, Georgia?
Just something I picked up. I don't know. It was an interest of mine, and I don't know. Fell in love with it.
I picked up the golf too.
Yeah.
You know, because we love golf, so we're talking golf as we're on these road trips. And so now, what do you guys play with each other out there in the spring? Do you get any time? What are you guys doing? Really?
We need to.
Yeah.
I don't have my clubs with me right now, but
same.
I'm definitely looking forward to getting them out there in the summer.
It's tough to get clubs up from Georgia. So.
That's true.
See, now I grew up in Mass, so I grew up a skier, so I know what it's all. I've never snowboarded, but it looks like it's a lot of fun. But when I saw, wait a minute, Georgia snowboarding,
I picked that.
I couldn't connect the dots. So, what's your concentrations, guys? What are you're juniors now, so obviously you have declared concentrations. Hazel, start with you.
I'm doing organizational studies, so it kind of just looks at the management of an organization, the different levels of management, and it's under the BEO track.
Okay, and then how about you?
I'm doing economics.
Okay, what ideally would you guys like to do with your degrees when your football playing days are over with and you graduate from Brown? Ideally, what would you like to do, or have you not really given a lot of thought about that now?
I'm not 100% certain yet, but I know I'd like to do something in the sports management field.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel pretty similar. I'm not quite sure. My older brother is in advertising with CBS Sports, and that's something that I'd like to do. So.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for joining us tonight on Coach's Show, and more importantly, good luck on Saturday against the Quakers.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
All right. Griffin McGovern, Hayes Sutton, our guest on the James Perry Show. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we have a very special surprise for you. There is a huge game in Providence here at Brown on Saturday night, and we'll be joined by a couple of members from the team who will be playing in that game when we come back on the James Perry Show right after this.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Elite Physical Therapy was founded on relationships and wanting to do the very best and elite by others.
Having our partnerships with institutions like the University of Rhode Island, Providence College, and Brown University have made us proud to continue to serve the communities like they do.
I can say that I'm incredibly proud of our team and our community.
Treating them, we know these people on a personal level.
Here at Elite, we really focus on the person and what's important to the person.
We love Rhode Island. We're living here. We're raising our families here.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Elite Physical Therapy was founded on relationships and wanting to do the very best and elite by others.
Having our partnerships with institutions like the University of Rhode Island, Providence College, and Brown University have made us proud to continue to serve the communities like they do.
I can say that I'm incredibly proud of our team and our community.
Treating them, we know these people on a personal level.
Here at Elite, we really focus on the person and what's important to the person.
We love Rhode Island. We're living here. We're raising our families here.
Welcome back to the James Perry Show here on AM 790 WPRV and on Facebook Live. Scott Credisci with you from Hope Street Pizza. Well, as we mentioned, a big game Saturday night, here in Providence at Brown. Before I get to that, let me tell you that our final segment of the show is brought to you by Ticket Smarter. Nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like Ticket Smarter. For all the best sports, concerts, and theater events, visit TicketSmarter.com or on the app. Ticket Smarter, proud to be the official ticket resale marketplace of Brown Athletics and Recreation. Ticket Smarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. And that's a great segue because you may have to go through Ticket Smarter to find tickets for Saturday's women's soccer game at Brown. When the Bears host the Penn Quakers, the Brown women's soccer team has a chance to clinch the Ivy League championship for the second consecutive time and punch its ticket to the NCAA tournament. And joining us here on the Coach Perry Show to talk about it is senior attacker Mason Bai and senior goalkeeper Kayla Thompson. Ladies, how are you?
Doing well.
Well, thank you for joining us. Let me pull that mic up so we can hear you better.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Speak with your chest. Just a little.
So, I don't know if you girls know who Yogi Berra is. He was a former baseball player for the Yankees that was famous for his odd sayings. And one of the things he used to say was, it's like deja vu all over again, which is a little redundant.
Yeah.
But it was 2 years ago, and I remember this vividly.
Mm-hmm.
We were home against Penn.
Yep. We were coming home.
We were coming home from Penn, where the football team will be this weekend, and we drove into the parking lot, and I said, ooh, the game's still going on. So I ran out of the car, and I ran into the stadium, literally just in time to watch you guys defeat Penn and clinch the Ivy Championship. So I'm excited. You guys have that opportunity again Saturday night. Talk to us about, how exciting that is for you.
I think it's crazy that we get to come back from such like a big break. I think COVID was a big factor of, knowing our teammates coming back together and just knowing half of our team is players that we haven't been played for. So I think that was a big factor. But I think we got this far and we want to clinch the title by ourselves and we're not sharing it. So,
Kayla, she talked about the COVID break, and I know that was difficult for everyone. And I go all the way back to you guys opening up the season at Hofstra against a very good team, but I can't help but think that not having played for 2 years and all that rust and opening on the road against a good team, I was shocked when I saw the final score, but then you immediately turned it around at home against Holy Cross, and I think, you correct me if I'm wrong, I felt like the Oklahoma State game was your statement game as a team saying, no, we're still here. Don't pay no attention to that season opening loss. We're still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our starting lineup from Hofstra versus now, there's been a lot of changes. We have so many good players who can play in so many good positions. And so it's just like, who do we plug in where? How are we going to work best together? Who works well together? And it's just unfortunate, being in the Ivy League, you have a shorter preseason than a lot of other teams.
Right.
We sat out the COVID year, so it took us a little bit longer to learn those things, work out those kinks. But yeah, then, the next couple games really turning those results around. Oklahoma State, Big 12 is a great conference, and, making a statement against a team like that at home was great.
Now, Kayla's a goalie, so talk to us. What is it? I mean, you've had a great couple of years. I mean, we had not the COVID, but your statistics are awesome here. I mean, when we look at what you've accomplished.
John, 2 years ago, let me read you her numbers. 2 years ago,
I know.
She was all everything. 10-2-3, 6-0-1 in the Ivies, and 9 shutouts.
That's why that's where I'm going. What is it like being in that goaltender spot? I mean, let tell everyone that's out there. I mean, you're kind of on your own island.
I am, but also I have, like, same thing in 2019 and now a fantastic back line in front of me. It's funny because a lot of those statistics around shutouts and things like that get attributed to me as a goalkeeper. But some of those games, I may have had one shot on goal. I may have had two shots on goal. The defense is really, really locking down in a lot of those games. And, like, without such a strong back four in front of me, I would be on my own island. But having, like, Kayla Duran back there is a leader. She's vocal. She's helping me boss everybody around. So it's a bit scary, I'm the last person. If it gets through 10 people, I better stop it. But I know I'm not alone. I got a strong back line in front of me.
So to follow up John's question, I've always wondered as a goalkeeper, right? Like whether it's a penalty kick or it's a breakaway, I would imagine a lot of it's just instinct. You're playing on instinct, but how much do you like read a player's eyes, their hips? I mean, what are you trying to do to determine, okay, this is where I think this player wants to go on this shot?
Yeah, my favorite coach growing up used to always say, "What did Shakira say?" And then everybody's like, "Hips don't lie." Hips are the way to go. A lot of players are tricky with their eyes, tricky with their body movements, but it's pretty hard to get your hips going one way and the ball going the other.
Yeah. Now, Mason, you're an attacker, correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, what was it like when you came back? You mentioned COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the leadership you guys are juniors that you had to take on for this team, because obviously we missed the whole season, and like you said, there's players you never met before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, it's a different dynamic than what we're all used to in collegiate sports.
Yeah, I think most importantly in the spring we did get to practice, which was great for us, and I think just getting to touch the ball was the most important thing, and so I got accumulated with the now sophomores that were there, and then coming in we kind of set this standard, like it's not going to go down, like we have to keep it here, and so holding the freshmen accountable was the best thing that we can do, and that's how we got where we are now.
Mason, last week we were following your game online as we were broadcasting the football game, and you won in Ithaca 3-0. You had a goal and an assist. You probably treat that like a business trip. Nobody likes going to Ithaca, New York, right? I spent 4 years at Syracuse, so I know what upstate New York is like. It's gray, it's dreary,
right.
It's raw.
Right.
So your team, to your credit, you treated it like a business trip, and you took care of business.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is just winning while we're away. I think we kind of struggled with that preseason, so we kind of just had to take that and learn from it and just know that Ivy League is Ivy League, so we can't be doing that when we travel. So that was our one goal, is just winning when we're away.
What we can't give away obviously your game plans or things you want to do, but from both of your perspectives, what are going to be some of the keys for you guys this Saturday under the limelight, everything at stake, to pull out a victory? I mean, the pressure's on, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you have to do, and to try to keep the younger kids that haven't played in this environment, and you have a few classes that haven't.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys have been there.
Yeah.
What do you guys have to do now, do you think, Saturday night to be successful?
Yeah, I think fortunately with the skill on our team, like the biggest thing is if you show up and you're your best self, we're going to be successful. Mm-hmm. So it's just talking to everybody like, hey, Mason, you're great at crossing the ball. You better show up on Saturday and cross the ball. And same thing for every person who has their super unique strengths. They really got to lean into that and bring that into the Saturday game.
Kayla, talk to me about, you transferred 2 years ago from West Virginia to Brown. Talk to us about that decision, why you made the decision, and then you also were part of something in West Virginia called Black Future. Explain to us what that was all about.
Yeah, so at West Virginia, wonderful soccer program. I just didn't feel like it was a good fit academically. Wasn't playing, and kind of figured I might want to try somewhere else. So I put into the transfer portal, started looking around, looked for schools first, and Ivy League is where you end up when you start looking at schools first. And my coach, one of my club coaches, told me about Kia. Said like really wonderful things about her. Was like, she's building this program, you should talk to her, and having a conversation with her, stepping foot on campus. Mason was one of the first people that actually met on campus, and hit it off right away. Like, just felt like this was the place I should have been. And yeah, so then ended up here, and it's been great ever since.
All right, in Black Future, tell us about that.
Yeah, so me and a couple friends started kind of a collective of using photography, poetry, spoken word to kind of redefine the narrative around Black people, and really like focus on our future and focus on just celebrating the beauty of Black people, the beauty of art, the beauty of everything around our culture. And so it's been a couple years of we did kind of an opening year, and then the last year was about joy, and amidst COVID there was just so many unique responses to like what Black joy means to you. And it's been really great to just connect with different people. And
so you've carried that here. You're continuing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So some of my friends are still in West Virginia. Some actually moved to Austin, where I'm from. They were all over, but we're still staying connected and still doing our thing.
Mason, Kayla brought up Coach McNeil. How good is she? I mean, she's very special. We've seen what she's done with this program. I mean, she's just a really good coach. She was a great player back in her day. What's it like playing for Coach McNeil?
I think, especially coming in freshman year, she just really, really cares. And it's about the players. It's about how we feel. It's about how we play. And she cares about us, together, and she cares about us individually. And I think being coached by her, like, she wants us to be successful. And I think that's the most important thing. And she's like family to me. So I think it's been amazing playing for her.
And
Mason,
John, go ahead.
Mason, what was your, deciding factor, to come to Brown? I mean, what made you, feel like this is the place for me? You came as a freshman, so it's a little different than the transfer. Kayla, what was your?
I think, first and foremost, this is an Ivy League, but I think looking at how sports was here, that was kind of something that I wanted to think about, like, is it good here? Because I know it's different than a lot of different leagues, and I saw what Kia was trying to do, and she honestly accepted me with open arms and told me what she was trying to do with the program, what she can do for me in terms of school-wise and leading me with network and connection. So I think that was one of the things is that I knew that I felt like at home when I came to Brown, especially with her as my coach. So.
I got to ask you both something because you're very, very articulate and very good on the microphone. What are you both thinking of doing in the future?
What are your concentrations?
Your concentration, but where do you? You're very well spoken.
Are you worried that they want our job, John? Is that what you're trying to get at?
They might.
Y'all don't want Mason and I holding a radio.
No, you don't.
We wouldn't be able to take that stuff seriously. We'd be laughing the whole time.
What are you thinking after Brown?
For me, I'm probably going to be working, something in business. I'm still figuring that out, but working for someone and hopefully turning into working with someone, I think, is probably one of my goals. So something along business. Don't know what yet.
Okay. How about you, Kayla?
I'm probably going to end up somewhere in the health sphere. I like more of like a holistic approach of health, like community-based health is probably where I'll end up, but who knows?
Will you go to med school? I know you're a public health concentrator.
No, doctor. No.
I just want to say that's a very, satisfying career. My daughter-in-law is in that. She's worked for a nonprofit in New York, and she, graduated from school. Then went to go to her public MBA at Columbia, and now she's into a nonprofit that for underprivileged children and everything in New York, throughout the country in New York City, but very, very rewarding field.
Yeah.
Now, business, that's where I come from. So you could be an entrepreneur. You have that in you. I can see that.
That's a lot of work. It's possible. I like talking to people, so I might go down the consulting track, so we'll see.
That's great.
We'll see.
Well, ladies, good luck against the Quakers on Saturday night. Bring home that Ivy championship, and good luck against the Quakers.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
Thanks for having us.
All right, that's Kayla Thompson and Mason By wrapping it up for us here on the James Perry Show. That game, by the way, their game, Saturday night at 7. Get to the Brown Center for soccer and lacrosse. Get to Stevenson Pinson's Field for that game. You will not regret it. It'll be a great time. As for us, the Bears football team plays at Penn. That game on Saturday, I said Friday night, Saturday night at 7. Saturday afternoon at 1, Brown football at Penn. John and I will be on the air at 12:30 right here on WPRB. That'll do it for our broadcast of the James Perry Show tonight. For the head coach of the Bears, James Perry, and John Anderson, my name is Scott Credisci saying good night from Hope Street Pizza.